G'day folks, welcome back to Delboy's Garage. This is the old iron, you know all about this, and this pretty much is a quick short video to tell you about some changes. Now this thing is finished. I really can't think of much else of any consequence to do to this. Changed the bars, done the air filter, made the spoiler, made the side mount, done all sorts of different things to it, sorted the silencers out, wrapped the pipes, painted the side panels, seat, lowered suspension, the list goes on and on. So you'll know about this, you've followed it right the way through, and pretty much there's nothing much more I can do, really. To be honest, it's Index, project finished, done. I can mess around with it, I can paint it, I was thinking of doing various other things, but really I'm just messing about. It's time for another project. Now, as you all know, I've probably said a few times, I'm self-employed, and with a small business, any of you with a small business will know that you have good times and you have bad times, and you have times of plenty and times where you don't have so much money. So right now I could do with cashing in a little bit of the value. I know I only got this 3 months ago from a mate of mine and cashed in a little bit of the value then. That's helped, but the business that we're in is a retail business and it's a subject to the recession like everything else. So we need to support our business a bit. I need to cash some of this in. So this is going for sale. It's now on eBay. Numbers here. The point of selling it is to get something cheaper, which I'll show you in a minute because I've got, and to get this cashed in. It's still only 12 months old. You've watched all the work done on it. You've seen all the videos, about 60 of them there for you to look at. Apart from painting it a different colour, there's really nothing more that I can do. Still going to be doing Harley stuff. Still got Mrs. Delboy's bike, and this is going to get some treatment. Got to replace the tank badges. Going to look at replacing the seat. A few other things we've got coming. Perhaps do something with the paintwork on the side panels. Not so sure. All whether she decides, because her bike's not my design. It's not my decision. But I'm going to be following a few jobs on that, so that will be coming up. But the iron is on the road. It's going. It's ready to go. It's got 2 years before it needs its MOT. It's got a year's manufacturer's warranty left. It's done 13,000 miles. It's all serviced up and correct. It's absolutely immaculate, as you can see, and it needs nothing. You've got a new set of Avons on it. Check out the eBay site. You can see the listing. I'll put it up for a figure that I think it's worth, looking at other irons for sale that haven't got handmade, one-of-a-kind fabricated parts made. They're just accessory bikes. And when we were talking about the spoiler, you saw the price of a plastic spoiler. That's 36 hours of steel fabrication and painting. That's quality parts. Whether or not you like the design, the fact is that's quality, that's beef, not just a piece of injection molded plastic clipped on the front and then people claiming it's 180 quid extra. So that's where we're going. Carbon wrap pipes, Vance and Hines tubes, silencers dealt with, and a few extra little few sort of accessories which they came with the bike. I would have changed those in the fullness of time, but they're on there. So there it is. Everything's correct, everything's cool. It's got 12 months tax on it. It's ready to go. So if you're interested, have a look at the listing, see what you think. In the meantime, the next little list of projects, here it is. Had a little play on eBay. Managed to secure one of my favourite all-round retro bikes, Bandit 1200. It's a W-Reds 2000, 25,000 miles. RS3 can, but the rest is completely standard. No other mods at all. The bars are going to get changed straight away. That is absolutely essential. These are awful. They give a horrible cramped riding position, so I'm going to get some Renthals for that. 25,000 miles. Checked all the documentation. It is perfect. Every single MOT right from the first one, and it was even MOT 6 months early. So everything's up to date. It's got correct 25,000 mileage, and in 10 years, that's nothing. For the last couple of years, it's been used for commuting, and that's taken its toll. You may have seen this sort of thing before. All this scuzz and all this corrosion on the motor, that's pretty typical. It's an alloy motor with a baked-on Teflon coating, but it just comes off, the salt gets to it. Pipes are absolutely immaculate. They're not replaced, they are original, but they're great. They haven't been all peppered and scuzzed up, they are nice. There's various things I'm going to be replacing, loads of little projects to come. That is going to have to be dealt with, it's all rusted out. These oil lines, not too sure about those, a little bit scared. They're rusted right badly, so they're going to get dealt with. There's an advisory on the last MOT that the disc was running out slightly, just a little bit of run out, nothing much. But that's because these have rusted up, that's all it is, and they just need to be freed off. wire brushed up and cleaned and lubricated, and there's a way to lubricate them without killing your brake's ability to stop the bike, and I'll show you that later on. Once they've been refurbished, they're fine. The actual discs are perfect, almost no wear at all. It came to me from a guy who was an engineer, and if you know the reputation of engineers, this guy epitomised engineers. Everything he did on this bike since November last year when he bought it has been done to a standard I would be very, very happy to have on my bike. Every fastener that's been off has gone back on with copper slip or grease or Loctite as per it should be. Every fastener is correct. There's nothing on it. No nuts or bolts or anything are rusted. The heads look shiny and rusty and here and there different, but that's just the way the weather's affected them. The actual treatment, there's no rounded off bolts. He's put in, gosh, the list is mad, new tyres front and back, brand spanking new, absolutely been on there a week. Brake pads in the front. The rest of the front end was done at the same time. He refurbished the finish on the fork legs, which is something you can do, just rub down, resprayed them. Fork seals, fork bushes, headstock races are done, taper rollers, so the front end is perfect. The rear end, new tyres, new chain sprockets. Let's get around and show you. You got new chain and sprockets in there. It's a bit lubed up at the minute, so it doesn't look it, but it is brand new. Brake pads in the back they're not brand new, but they've got over 3/4 of their life, so they're cool. And really, that's about the limit. He's put all of the money and time he spent on this into making the thing serviceable. It's been fully serviced. I've got loads of servicing bills. It's oil, filter, spark plugs, air filter, all that done. Something I'm going to show you quick. This is a pretty classic bolt with pretty much all of these bikes. When you get these big plastic side panels, you get them on your sports bikes as well. This is absolutely classic. I'd hoped I hadn't found one, but there it is. And the guy's done his best. He's put a bit of fiberglass in there, but he didn't prep the other side, which is clever. And obviously it's done what it's bound to do and just pull straight off. So there's a little task. We'll do that as a little follow-up shortly. That's going to just get plastic welded. It'll be just a short one. So that's typical bit of plastic weld. That's fine. Get that done. It had a scuzzy old horrible tank protector that's been removed. I've just cleaned that off. There's a couple of odds and ends, little bolts are loose. That's moving about, whereas it shouldn't, so there's a screw loose in there. We'll know about that. And there we are. It's going to be loads of little projects, little odds and ends. There's a bolt missing from under there that holds on the downpipe, and it's a little bit out of line, so that needs sorting out. Took the main stand off because I just hate them. I never ever use main stands. Always adjust the chain when it's on the ground because you need the weight on it, and if I need to lube the chain, I've got a paddock stand. So there we are. That really is it. Loads of projects to come. Sad to see the end of the old iron, but there wasn't much really to do. But now on this, there is. I can get my teeth stuck into this. Going to paint the motor, going to paint the frame, going to get all in there, get all that nastiness out and sort that out. That's just disgraceful. That's all going to look better. Possibly look for an oil cooler altogether, I think. Perfectly serviceable oil cooler. I just don't like the finish, so perhaps whip it off, get it cleaned up, looking good, back on the bike. Just turn this out as a clean, tidy bike that deserves to be. The paintwork is absolutely mint. There's not a mark on it. It's absolutely mint. It's a lovely clean bike. Even at the most vulnerable part of the bike, not a blemish. A couple of little tiny pinpricks where sort of chips and stones have hit it, but not much. Even all around here, where they get stone peppered, nothing. Even the screen's good, and they always end up peppered as well. So there it is. Project number 2, Project Bandit. We're not going to do masses to it. It's still an everyday ride. Still going to get ridden to work and back. But for now, end of Project Iron on eBay. The number I gave you. Enter Project Bandit. That's it for now. Stick around. Stay tuned. Join us for the first job to come.